Guys, the WNBA have been talking about their most viral moments of the years. Obviously, number five most viral moment was I don't remember this happening. The number six most viral moment was I don't remember. Sorry, Jesus, I don't remember this happening.
And there it is, the problem, summed up in one sentence. A content creator who covers the WNBA for a living sat down to watch the league's official most viral moments list and immediately said, I don't remember this happening. Not once, not twice, but repeatedly throughout the entire countdown. Think about that. The WNBA released its biggest viral moments of the year, and someone whose job is literally to cover the league is left confused because half of these so-called viral moments apparently never made an impact at all.
Some of these moments, let's see what some of these are like. Number nine was Candace Parker with Usher. Don't remember this happening. Number 10 was Stud Buds. To be fair, the Stud Buds at All-Star Weekend is absolutely belongs high. But I'm actually shocked that, first of all, this was higher. This was more important. But the WNBA actually...
Now, we get to the heart of it. Star Weekend absolutely belongs near the top of the list. No argument there. But this is where the WNBA's priorities are exposed. They ranked a Candace Parker and Usher photo P. Yes, a celebrity snapshot, at number 9 on their most viral moments list. Meanwhile, the Mercury versus Fever game, where Caitlin Clark, playing on an injured leg, completely dominated Paige Bueckers and settled one of the biggest debates in women's basketball all season, that landed at number 7. Think about that for a second. A celebrity photo ranked higher than the most anticipated rookie showdown of the year. That says everything about how the WNBA chooses what really matters.
It was like Caitlin was on one leg and she was taking the piss. She stole the ball 4 times off Paige. She blocked JJ Quinterly, screamed in her face, grabbed the ball and just looked up and launched a full court pass inch perfect to Sophie Cunningham. She, in fairness, Paige Bueckers caught her in the air and she went down looking like she'd hurt herself on that one. Caitlin's stats wise, she had 13 assists in like 20 something minutes. She played 10 minutes less than Paige, so 13 assists. Paige Bueckers was the absolute, she was, as we call her at times last season, she was the garbage time demon. She was the demon of garbage time last year.
Look at those numbers. 13 assists in just 20 minutes. For steals straight off Paige Bueckers. A block on Guju Watkins, followed by a scream in her face, a steal, and a full court pass to Sophie Cunningham. All of this on one functional leg. This wasn't just a win. It was a statement game that settled the debate. Paige Bueckers spent the majority of the competitive minutes being systematically dismantled. By the time garbage time rolled around and Paige finally scored, Caitlin Clark had already dominated across points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks, with fewer turnovers. Here's the kicker. The WNBA has spent the season building Paige as the next face of the league, the social media darling, the torchbearer. And then they post highlights from a game where she was completely outclassed.
Crazy. It was what I would say was anyone points to anything. You look at that game, you're like, even the fucking UConn game. Fun fact. This is not a fun fact because it's not a fact. I'm pretty sure UConn were 3-0 against Iowa and Caitlin Clark until that game. I'm pretty sure. Paige Bueckers is 0-4. I'm pretty sure Iowa beat UConn once when they were in college together. And one of them, Paige, didn't even play. It was an easy foot.
The history between UConn and Iowa adds another layer. UConn went 3-0 against Iowa and Caitlin Clark until that final college matchup. Paige Bueckers was 0-4 against her. And in one of those wins, Paige didn't even play. It was a Caitlin Clark masterclass. This wasn't a fluke. It was a pattern, one that carried into the professional level. Yet the WNBA keeps pushing the narrative of a rivalry between Paige and Clark, as if they're on equal footing, as if the results haven't consistently told a very different story. The comparison to Angel Reese is more interesting. Reese, as a rookie, literally carried the Chicago Sky to multiple wins, 2 putbacks to seal a victory against Vegas, willpower that led the New York Liberty to triumph despite chaos around her. Angel repeatedly crossed the line from competitive to victorious. Paige Bueckers? She's made games competitive. She's kept them close. But she hasn't consistently delivered the wins the way Angel did as a rookie. There's a clear difference between being competitive and being decisive.
What? If you were talking about this game, I just remember like how the game was summarized in one photo. Yeah. Yeah. How the game summarized in one photo. That was basically it. The rivalry the league wants. They have grown, bless their hearts. Aaliyah Boston, AZ Foot, 4 steals and 13 assists on one leg. Like, she stripped Paige 4 times. And that was the funniest thing is everyone's talking about turnovers. I'm like, well, Paige had more turnovers than Caitlin in that game. Because Paige actually played point guard in that game. The game the Wings beat the Fever, if I'm not mistaken.
That photo sums up the entire game. Caitlin Clark on cruise control, barely looking to score, systematically picking Paige apart on defense and setting up her teammates. Meanwhile, Paige's expression says it all. She knows exactly what just happened. In the game against the Wings, where Paige actually played point guard, one stat stood out. She had more turnovers than Caitlin. Some tried to spin it as Paige finally embracing a true playmaking role. But context matters. Caitlin was playing on one leg, not even trying to score, and still racked up 13 assists while stealing the ball from Paige 4 times. The Wings nearly blew a 70-point lead late in the game. Hilarious for completely different reasons. But when it comes to the Paige versus Caitlin matchup, the story was clear. It wasn't even close.
By the way, one thing I like is that you're starting to see Paige become Paige again, by the way. Like, if you saw this, for lack of a better word, like the swag and freedom that Paige played with in high school, and then that was kind of gone out of her at UConn. That was gone out of her at UConn. And, like, I think we're seeing a little bit more Paige. We're seeing a little bit more her being Paige. And if Paige is Paige and Paige fixes the mentality issues that she's had over the last 2 years where, and it's, I don't mean these in mentality issues. Mentality issues is in like the mentality of, oh, I'm just going to, I just want to fit in and not, I'm the fucking team. Like, you fit in off the floor, but on the floor, I'm this fucking team.
Here's something worth noting. Paige is starting to be Paige again. The swagger, the freedom she played with in high school before UConn tried to rein it in. That mentality of, I'm the team. Give me the ball. I'll make everyone else better. Instead of deferring to teammates shooting 18% from 3. That was the frustration last season. Paige passing up open shots to feed teammates who weren't converting, just like people got annoyed when Caitlin passed to Christy Wallace or Lexi Hall instead of taking the shot herself. If Paige fixes those mentality issues and embraces being the alpha instead of the perfect team player, she can get the better of Caitlin plenty of times. Angel Reese has done it once. Ryan Howard has. Even Kelsey Mitchell has had her number in certain games. But as of this matchup, the debate should have ended. Should have. Yet the WNBA narrative refuses to acknowledge it.
Going to post highlights, Caitlin Clark versus Paige Bueckers. There's going to be a lot more matchups. And by the way, Paige is going to get the better of Caitlin Clark plenty of times. Plenty of times in her career. Like, heck, Angel got the better of Caitlin Clark once. Ryan Howard's gotten better of Caitlin Clark. Heck, fucking Kate Martin's gotten the better of Caitlin Clark a couple of times. And it's not even funny. I don't actually know if Caitlin Clark has ever actually gotten the better of Kate Martin as a pro. So it's going to happen. But I'm still shocked. I'm actually considering what the WNBA have been doing, considering their mentality towards Caitlin Clark as a league, and them really wanting to push Paige Bueckers in the face, even though Paige Bueckers, nobody watches.
This gets to the core contradiction. Paige Bueckers has an insane social media following. TikTok fans love making edits of her and AZ Fudd, building parasocial connections like they do with Caitlin Clark. But here's the problem. They don't actually watch basketball. Paige may have millions of followers and massive engagement online, but the ratings don't reflect it. Attendance doesn't show it. It's all digital smoke with no real fire behind it. The WNBA keeps trying to push Paige as the face of the league, despite the numbers, the head-to-head matchups, and the on-court results saying otherwise. They're attempting to manufacture a narrative based on Instagram likes and TikTok views instead of what's actually happening on the court.